I think it's even. I think it's split, really. To be real with y'all, I think it's split. I see a lot of people in the streets over the last couple of years. It's back and forth. It's 50-50 from what I see. It's a lot of love for both guys, respect for both guys, but I don't get the sense that any one fighter is the fan favorite. Both fan bases are rocking with them heavy, and really this matchup right here puts a lot of fighters in a bad position because they both likable guys. A lot of fighters like myself, you came up with them. I'm a little bit older than them, but I rock with both of them. And it puts you in a bad situation, in a bad spot. But from a fan standpoint, it seems like it's down the middle to me. What y'all think? So, first of all, on the eve of this fight, we got to stop for a second. And we got to give respect to these fighters, and we got to shout them out because it was a lot of bad things said about these fighters, these two men, Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, when the fight wasn't getting made as fast as we wanted it to. I was frustrated. A lot of people frustrated because you just want to see the fight, you know, and you don't want this to be another big fight that doesn't happen. And I know that, like, fans, they don't really care about the money part. They don't really care about a clause that may be in a contract that may not be feasible for you. But the fighter does. So I understand, like, from a fan standpoint, the frustration. But there was a lot of stuff being said about both fighters. Terrence Crawford is stupid. He don't know what he's doing. He's messing up his career. This one is scared of that one. Spence is scared of Crawford. Crawford is scared of Spence. I think, man, for those of us that said that, I think we got to have the same energy to say that we're wrong. Because what happens is boxing starts to be this place now where you can just say anything you want to say about a fighter. You never got to apologize. You never got to say you was wrong. And we just move on like, well, I guess they did figure it out and they did fight. We got to stop and say, hold up, I was wrong. I wanted to see the fight. I was excited about the fight. And I said this and I shouldn't have said it. Or I said this about him and I shouldn't have said it. Because these fighters this fight got done. And I said this on Fight Hype 3-4 weeks ago. This fight got done because, yes, you need the suits. Yes, you need the network. Steven Espinoza, the managers, the advisors, all the people. Like, this fight doesn't get done without them, but this fight really got done because both of these fighters picked up the phone. I'm not going to get into who picked up the phone first and all of that, but they picked up the phone and they had a conversation and they got a mega fight on their hands. And this got done because two fighters got on the phone and said, bro, I'm willing to take this. You got to bend over here and give this percentage, or you got to give on this, but I'll give you that. That's, man, we got to shout them out, y'all, for their business acumen before we start talking about the fight, because that's not talked about enough. Fighters are looked at like they're stupid. Fighters just shut up and go fight. Shut up. We don't want to hear about the business. Just, hey, man, you make enough money. Get in there and fight. And we got to stop for a second. We got to pause and we got to pay homage to Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford for putting their business hat on and their pride, putting their pride to the side and saying, okay, I'm going to give you this percentage on this, but in the rematch, I got to get that. You got to stop for a second. And for the young fighters out there, man, reach out to these dudes. Ask questions. How did y'all get it done? What did y'all do? How did you figure out these tough points? Because we gotta step this thing up, y'all. Like we gotta step this business acumen, meaning like our knowledge of business and how it works. We gotta step this stuff up. We gotta step it up because it's a lot of money out there to be made, and we gotta make sure that we don't just say stuff like, I'm putting my life on the line, right? You gotta really stop and think about what that means. Like in a sparring session as a fighter, you putting your life on the line. You get hit with one shot and get a brain bleed, and you can have a situation. Now your life has changed forever. So knowing that you putting that kind of risk, putting yourself at that kind of risk, even in sparring and especially a big fight, you got to know that you the business. Nobody makes money until you fight. Now, I understand early in your career there's an investment. I understand that. But we got to step our game up, and we are stepping our game up. And this fight tomorrow night is a good example of fighters who did that and who's doing that. And even the behind the scenes stuff about how Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence handled the sanctioning bodies. I love it. Y'all can't get 3% on every belt just because that's your rules. Tell me where that makes sense, because we could do this fight without y'all. And y'all know how I feel about the sanctioning bodies. And they handled their business. So let's just stop for a second and give Team Spence and Team Crawford credit, bro. It's a mega event we getting ready to enjoy tomorrow night. And it's a lot of money that's getting ready to be made. And it happened because of these two businessmen first. They were business-minded first. Then they said, let's do the other work, which we getting ready to see, man, tomorrow night. So, the fight is here. Man, I'm excited. What do y'all think, man? I'm nervous. I ain't fighting, but I'm nervous. I'm nervous because, man, like, this one of them fights, man, you got love for both guys, and you may be closer to one than the other. But, man, this is one of them fights. Like, this is gonna be. I think we got 2 fights out of this for sure. And if it's a split 1-1, I think we get 3 out of this. And I personally don't see either fighter at this stage in their career fighting a lot longer than what they fighting after this 2 fights or after this trilogy, because these camps are different. When you fight a fight of this magnitude, it's a different level of focus. It's a different level of lock-in, and it drains you. And then you got to go actually call it back up and go fight the fight. Then you sit around after you done spent 2-3 months in camp, you done fought a tough fight, and you like, man, I got to go do it again. Your body you start having different thoughts. I don't see them going with the winner of this 2 fights or 3 fights, depending on how long ago. What they gonna do? Go to 154 in campaign and start all over? They might. They might. That's gonna be hard. That's hard for me to see. I think I can see them doing a farewell fight, but if he's successful and wins 2 fights or a trilogy, I can see him doing a farewell in Omaha, Nebraska. I can see Errol Spence doing something. It's hard for me to see. I could be wrong, but it's hard for me to see either fighter after they're done with this business that they got in hand, after 2 or 3 fights, like going on a campaign at 54, or maybe Bud staying at 47 and trying to campaign at 47. I just can't see with the money they're going to make, the stage that they at in their careers. I can't see them like having the motivation to start over. And then you got young dudes like Boots Ennis, who he coming. And nobody's afraid of anybody, but are you motivated to fight, Boots, to prove again to the young line, to the next crop of dudes that, hey, I'm going to show you that I'm still the old guard and I'm going to hold you off? If you motivated, then yeah, go for it. But is the money going to be there? Is the motivation going to be there? This is stuff you got to think about, man, when you get into this stage in your career. But tomorrow night, man, I'm not giving y'all my prediction, like this one is going to win over that one. But we're just going to talk through the fight real quick. And I want y'all to throw some, I want to see some game plans. I don't want to hear this person is scared of this person. Nobody's scared of nobody. And I don't think it's going to be a steamroll. I think both guys going to have to work. So I want to hear some strategy. Give me something in the comments and let me know where y'all at. I'm going to start off by just saying this. One thing I can predict, I don't think it's going the distance. I don't think it's going the distance. I think between 9 and 11, I think it's gonna be some lot of dangerous work going on between 9 and 11, and I'm not gonna say who I think is gonna win the fight, but it's hard for me to see this fight going 12. It's hard for me to see this fight going 12. It's gonna be a lot of punishment inflicted in this fight, because when Errol Spence says he's gonna step in the first round, meaning he gonna toe the line and bring it, I believe him. I've seen him do it. I watched him throughout his career. That's how he trains. That's how he moves. I don't think he's going to switch up right now in the biggest moment of his life. And what I know about Bud, he ain't finna back down. Now, Bud may have a strategy on how he does it, but Bud got killer instinct. Errol Spence got killer instinct. And the whole world is watching. The whole world is going to stand still to watch these two men fight. And nobody's going to want to give an inch and nobody knows how the judges are scoring it. And because of that, it's going to be a lot of punishment inflicted in this fight, y'all. And you know, they're going to get a king's ransom for it. This is what we signed up for. We know what we signed up for. And